Knowledge of the Gunas is very useful because you can see that a person is not always Sattvic, Rajasic or Tamasic. The mind is tossed by all three Gunas. We should know that we are just sitting in the midst of it.
The Gita, for those who don't know, is one of the most incredible texts. It's so deep. And if you think it was written like 5,000 years ago, and you think, oh my God, people are talking about consciousness today. They're talking about, that the divine is everywhere. And they think it's a science suddenly, when it's always been there in our books, always. Always, as truth is one, paths are many. Doesn't matter which path. But there is only one truth. And today, in chapter 14, we are going to speak about the qualities of nature. What happens with our moods? What happens in nature? How do we control these qualities in our life? How do we work with ourselves? So this chapter 14, and the three qualities of nature, is actually very practical. It's practical in the sense that when you are lost and you can't make decisions and you have to step back, how do you step back? How do you step back from who you are? By knowing the knower, who you really are. And that's difficult for human beings because let the Gita tell you what it says about this. So we start at chapter 14, and it's called Yoga of the Three Qualities of Nature. So we'll start at Sloka. Sloka is a verse in Sanskrit, all right? Sloka 1. Now this is Lord Krishna symbolizing the divine within, the Christ in everyone, or the energy in anyone, okay? Your higher self, your spirit. And he's saying to his student Arjuna, I will tell you more about the supreme wisdom, jnana. Jnana means wisdom, by which the great sages and saints went from this world to a state of perfection. I'm going to tell you the kind of knowledge you need to achieve this state of perfection within yourself. Those who rely on this knowledge, or jnana, feel themselves at one with me. Thus they do not see themselves coming into being at the time of conception, nor are they disturbed at the moment of death. And here Krishna is saying, I'm going to give you this knowledge. What is mankind most worried about? They're worried about death. We're all worried about dying. And he's saying, I'm going to give you this knowledge. With this knowledge, you're not going to worry about being born or die. I love the way my master, Sri Swami Satchidananda, explains this. He really makes me laugh. He says, when a baby is born, we all celebrate and the baby's crying its head off. Why am I here? Right? And when we die, the soul is happy to leave the body that is in pain, and we are crying, don't go. And it's so true, isn't it? I mean, this is a fact, and yet we do it again and again and again. He says, once you have this knowledge, then, yes, of course, you're going to feel sad when somebody dies because you're going to miss them, but it's personal, it's selfish, it comes from your attachment to them, but you won't stop them from progressing because they never belonged to you in the first place. They never belonged to you in the first place. If you have this knowledge, you face your pain readily because you know that the person that you lost is flying high. And you really know that. And I can tell you that when my husband died 14 years ago, I experienced the tremendous, horrendous pain, but at the same time, he was set free from a broken body full of disease. Do you know? And it was my selfishness, and I didn't want to hold him back. And that was my thing in my mind. Don't hold him back, Nalini. This is being selfish. Oh, you can be selfish for a few weeks. And then you got to let him go because you're human. So this is the study of this. It helps you to understand yourself as a human being. It helps you to understand yourself as who you really are. And because of that, all the pain is lessened. That's why they say when you study yoga, you become free from suffering. The pain is not as hard as I can't cope, I have to have tablets, I have to see a doctor, I mean, we were talking about it, Anna and me the other day, and she said, oh, Nalini, I heard that as soon as somebody passes, they offer the family antidepressants. And I said, yeah, they did that to me at the hospital. The moment my husband passed away, the doctor called me, Nalini, can I give you antidepressants? I said, no way. I have to go through the pain. It's part of life. We have to go through it to get through it. I don't want to dull my mind and then I'll never get through it because the medicine is doing the work, not me. So this is what he's saying. If you have this knowledge, you won't worry about these things. 3, my womb is Prakriti. For those who are new, Prakriti means nature. Okay? Everything is nature. So he's saying, my womb is nature, the great creator. Therein I place the seed, Arjuna, and thus all beings are created. Now I'd like to refer to another saying from the Upanishads, which is the Vedas, from Eknath Ishwaran, when he talks about this. And this is how he describes consciousness, or the divine, that creates all of us and everything that exists. He says, imperishable is the Lord of love. Now look how we call consciousness a God, the Lord of love, and that's why I love this text. As from a blazing fire, thousands of sparks leap forth. Now close your eyes for a minute. I want you to imagine a blazing fire. And you see all these thousands of sparks leaping out of that fire. Now open your eyes. So millions of beings arise from the Lord of love and return back to it. So we're just like these beautiful sparks that come from the Lord of love, and we return back to this. Isn't that great? The Lord of love is above name and form. It is present in all and transcends all, unborn, without body and without mind. From it comes every body and mind. It is the source of space, air, fire, water, and the earth that holds all. So here it's basically saying the same, that we all come from the womb of this great Lord of love. And in this womb, millions of us come into existence, including nature, animals, everything comes from it. The mountains, everything comes from it, this consciousness. 4, everything that comes into being does so from the womb of nature. 5, mighty Arjuna, the forces of nature are harmony, restless activity, and inactivity, known in Sanskrit as Sattva, which is calm and peaceful, Rajas, which is excitable and selfish normally, and Tamas, which is dullness and apathy. Okay? They arise from the creative energy, they arise from nature, which binds the indestructible one fast to the physical body. So what is he saying here? He said, okay, I created this womb, created this nature, created everything. And the moment you create it, right, there's now duality. But what happens is because you have a material body, your spirit also stuck to the material body. Because this is the body. Suddenly you can experience things with the body. So we tend to forget our indestructible nature and focus on the body because we get so attached to this body, right? And that's the way it's meant to be, because that's the challenge for us. We ask to be born to experience, because if you're one with consciousness, how do we experience? Cannot experience. But we got so caught with the experience, so attached to every experience. We took these experiences personally, so personally, that we forgot that we just came here to have a bit of fun and learn a few lessons. And that's it. 6. Now this is interesting. Although the Sattvic guna is pure, now this is the guna, pure, luminous, and without obstruction, still it binds you by giving rise to happiness and knowledge, to which the mind readily becomes attached. So, when we try to meditate, the reason why we meditate is to get into sattva guna, the nature. These are essences of nature. Everything in nature has these 3 qualities, like an atom, all right? So here he's saying to us, he's saying, this is good. When you meditate, we try to get to the sattvic state. Sattvic state is good, but also be careful, because if you are used to being in that state, the moment the day comes and something shakes you, you can't do it. So you even have to free yourself from that state. It's the best state to get to, but don't even get attached to that. Because, and I've seen so many people, right, in my life, even, I remember I often tell this story because she gave me the permission many years ago. I had this lady see me desperately. I have to see you immediately. So I said, sure, come. What's wrong? Nothing. I am so scared. Why are you so scared? Everything I want in my life I have, and I know it's going to be temporary, and what if my happiness should go? She was so attached to her having everything and being happy that she became fearful of losing the happiness. It's interesting, right? I said, in life, we will have good times and we will have bad times. If you just look at the seasons and you just, the Bible and the song, to everything there is a season, right? A time to be born, a time to die, a time to love, a time to hate. We're here to experience these. It's never always going to be perfect. Neither is it always going to be bad. So rise above it. And this is meditation. And people normally get very confused. Normally there's so many thoughts in my mind. And I go and tell them, but you're not your mind. What do? You can't shut the mind up, because the mind is an instrument. And every time you look at something, you're going to have a thought. The secret is not to shut the mind up. Almost impossible. Got it? You just go above it. Watch it. And here the Gunas is telling you, the Gunas is making your mind spin. Nature is making your mind spin. But you are not your mind. You can watch it. And once you learn that, then you can decipher information and make really great decisions. Oh, I know why I'm so unhappy, because I'm so attached to being happy. So I need to train my mind to know that this situation doesn't last forever. But while I'm happy, I'm not going to waste half my life being worried about it. I'm going to enjoy it. This is my gift. I am happy. I'm going to, wow, hallelujah. I'm happy. Thank life. I'm going to sing. I'm going to dance. I don't know how long it's going to last. No attachment to it. No attachment to it. So he's saying this happens with sattva, but we still work towards sattva. It's the best state for a yogi to be in. And it explains later why. Then 7, the seed of passions is raja, restless activity. Arjuna, this gives rise to sense thirst and thereafter the bondage of selfish attachment. This in turn leads to compulsive behavior. Now, rajas just means a lot of activity. Now, rajas as a essence of nature, is it bad? No. We have yesterday I did into stormy seas, right? Dangerous, yeah? Very selfish, everything gets destroyed. But at the same time, isn't it beautiful to look at those waves? Oh, nature is just so beautiful. Even in its worst, it's so beautiful. And you can see the beauty in the horror because you understand it's all part of nature. You know, it's just the way it is. And look at today, so blue, so beautiful, so warm, so lovely. You see how quickly, and our minds are the same. So understand this, and then you will be able to make lots of good decisions in your life. So, and he says it brings bondage to selfish attachment. What does this mean? Because Rajas is kind of like, I want to work to make so much money. I want to have the most expensive Porsche car. I want to have this. I want fame. I want to be famous. I want everybody to know me. Now, in every single case, and this is the truth, I'm so sorry to say this, whenever people chase that, they suffer. Even in the yogic field. I want to be so successful. But yoga is not about being successful. When you have yoga and you feel peace in your heart, you are successful already. What's better than peace and contentment? And no, but I have to make so many millions. And it's like a gentleman many years ago, one of my first patients actually at 67 came to me. And he said, and this really taught me a lot. He said, I'm 67. I've just retired. I spent my entire life racing after material things. Now that I'm retired, I am sick. What did I work for? I can't even enjoy my family. I thought I can finally enjoy sitting down with my wife and taking her on holiday constantly. I'm sick. I can't take her anywhere. Where did my life go? And scary when people tell me that. So balance, work hard, but also play hard. Also enjoy your family. At the end of the day, I tell you, really that is what's going to be with you. And you need some comfort at the end of your days. And I remember when my husband was dying, I was so grateful. Wonderful friends, wonderful Sangha, all cooked and helped me so much. But who was with me most of the time? My family. And who was with my husband all the time? Me. Do you know, at the end of your life, we are so greedy. We want everything to be perfect. So when relationships get a bit difficult, I'm going to leave you. You know, nobody has any staying power. Nobody has any trust. Nobody builds up these days this force of time, acceptance, and it's all selfish. I want the perfect relationship, so I have to have the perfect partner. Nobody's perfect. None of us. None of us. None of us. Just be happy with what you have if you've got a good person. That's what I tell people. You've got a good person. The grass is not greener on the other side. This is all Rajas. You're watching too many programs on television. You know, it's not real. You're living somebody else's life, not your own life. You know? Live your own life. And when you're alone and you're with no one, then have the magical relationship with the divine. Because that's what yoga means, connecting with the internal divine. When you're happy there, you will attract the right person. And if you don't need to attract anybody, you don't need that because you're so happy in yourself. You're so happy in yourself. And isn't that the gift of life? Yeah? So this confusion constantly is always in human beings' minds because we're so attached to what, even if we say, I don't care what other people think, 99% of the people that tell me that do care. Because they'll tell me, Nelly, I don't care. And then somebody says something, call me on the phone, oh, she said this about me. And I said, so what? Aren't you like that sometimes? Aren't you like that? You know, somebody once asked me, it was a couple, and she said, do you think, he said, he said to his wife, do you think you love me or do you think you're using me? So I said, answer the question. Answer the question. And she found it very hard to answer the question. So I love you and do you use it? Yes. Okay, so now you know that's the truth. What can you do to change it? It's not a bad thing, but you know this person is feeling bad. So what can you do to change it? Once you understand, and if you really love somebody, you will make adapt. You will, what Master Shivananda tells us?
Accept, adjust, accommodate.
Spare insult, bear injury, highest sadhana. You got it. You would just adapt and adjust. They know it well, don't they? It is the only way you can move forward. Otherwise, your Rajasic mind will kill you because you're all the time thinking it's better there, it's better there. Can you imagine thinking you're never happy where you are and you reach the age of 67 like that man? Oh, I'm that age now actually, and become miserable. I couldn't think of that. Oh my God, I'd never want to go back to when I was 35 and had a crazy mind. I would never want to go back there. Do you know? And I think half the people, well, 90% of the people I live in hell, and the hell is here. It's not reality. 8. But know that the quality of tamas veils the mind in ignorance. This in turn deludes and binds all embodied beings through carelessness, laziness, and oversleeping. And now this is the third thing he points out to all of us. He says this is the third essence of nature, tamas. It makes you lazy, it makes you careless, it makes you make all the wrong decisions. This is the hardest state of man, for man to be in.
When the knower has understood all that is to be known, there's no need for any further knowing, and that is the end of the process. As long as you want to know, then you need all the faculties in order to know. Knowledge is what comes to you without any obstacles. A ledge is something that stops you. When there is no ledge, you have knowledge, and you don't worry about knowing any more.
And 9. Sattva binds you to happiness. Rajas binds you to compulsive behavior. And tamas, by veiling your mind, binds you to confused thinking and bad judgment. 10. Sometimes Arjuna is the student, right? The disciple. Sometimes Arjuna, sattva arises above rajas, and sometimes tamas predominates. And if you look at your own personality, isn't it true? Some days you'll be more tamasic, you'll be lazy, you don't want to do anything. Other days you'll be very rajasic and you want to do lots of things. And another day you just want peace. Yeah, so 11. This is how you recognize yourself. When the light of wisdom shines through all the gates of the body, this is the sign that sattva is dominant. Now, the light of wisdom shines through all the gates of your body. Where are your gates? Eyes, nose, mouth, ears, right? And then when you reproduction and elimination, these are all your gates of the body. Now, when you are in this kind of great state, everything shines. Your eyes twinkle. You enjoy life. This is what we come here to do. We've come to enjoy life. You're not complaining. You just got full of energy, and people just want to laugh with you. They want to be near you because you've got that lightness, and that's when you know you're in a sattvic place. You're not heavy. You're not complaining. You're not, oh, something is wrong. You just enjoy everything. The truth is, know yourself. Know your moods. No, I'm in tamasic mood today, so I'm going to be very lazy, so I'm just going to get whatever, whether it's healthy or not. I don't want to do that because I know I'm like that, so I'm going to make sure I got lots of carrots. I'm going to have lots of vegetables. I'm going to have lots of fruit. Since I'm so lazy, let me get lots of bananas, easy, or grapes, easy to eat. Do you see? Know yourself. So I know if I'm lazy, I'm going to eat bananas and grapes, but at least I have something healthy rather than take rubbish and put it in my mouth. Do you see what I'm saying? This is how you understand yourself. You will make the right choices. You will make the right choices for you. 12. Whenever you see greedy behavior, restless, or continuous thirsting after one thing or another, Arjuna, these signs are that Rajas is dominant. And Rajas, you can even see many times people call themselves spiritual, but they're always wanting something more from their spirituality. They want to be famous, or they want to be known, or they want to be in every person's WhatsApp, and they need people to hear them all the time. And I have many spiritual people. Now, why is not anybody looking at my Facebook page? And I go, why would you care? Why would you care if you know that you know that you know? It's nothing about that. It's just about contentment. And anyway, you want to be with people who really love knowledge, people who are really sincere in heart. Many come to this path, hundreds and thousands, but very few live it. You want to be around people who are really sincere, who fill their hearts with love and kindness, or at least want it. It's a process. We can never get there immediately, and that's no problem. It's just trust yourself more. And you see people getting better and better and trusting themselves. It doesn't happen overnight, but they keep going. They keep falling, and they come up, and they come to me. I fell again. No big deal. You're walking, aren't you? It doesn't matter. We're human. We fall a million times. The thing is that you get up again, and that to me is important. You get up again and you don't give up. Why? I'll tell you again. I do like this very practical chapter. So here it says, if the mind is predominantly sattvic when the body dies, then the soul goes to the pure realms of the wise who know the Supreme. As you think,
you become.
So why do they say it's so important what you think at the moment when you die? Every tradition has it, right? They'll call a priest in, etc. But it's not so easy to do last minute. Because if your mind is greedy and always angry, last minute, even you want to think good thoughts, you cannot. You cannot. It's not automatic anymore. But this is why we do spiritual study, right? And practice. And this is sadhana. We call it sadhana. We practice so that when this moment comes, you're not attached. Oh, I'm going to go. And if it's a sudden accident, you've been chanting mantras for so many years, first thing that will come up is mantras. But it's because you've been practicing, right? But last minute, just to think you're going to not be scared of losing your body, I'm telling you, most people are very frightened. It's what you know. So if you haven't prepared yourself saying, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm soul, I'm spirit, I'm energy, I'm consciousness, time when you go, you're going to feel so attached because you haven't fulfilled your mission, which is knowing your spirit. That's it. Full stop. That easy. On earth. If you've achieved it, then there's no problem. You go to the pure realms and be with wise ones. As my master always said, he said, you guys, oh, Jesus, help me. Oh, Gurudev, help me. Oh, this. We're all having fun up there. We're saying, come on, you're part of us. Why are you getting so involved in this well? Come and join us one day and we'll all be playing up here, So, yes, we get too serious. 15. If the mind is predominantly Rajasic when the body dies, that soul in time will be reborn amongst those attached to compulsive actions. So, if you die and you have this mind, you'll come to families that are compulsive, okay? If the mind is predominantly tamasic at such a time, the soul is later conceived by parents who are ignorant of the truth. 16. The fruit of good actions is pure and sattvic mind. And this is why we practice good actions, okay? So our minds become pure. The fruits of Rajasic actions ultimately are pain and suffering. And the fruit of tamas is ignorance. You see many people are very ignorant. And this is from this nature. 17. Wisdom arises from sattva. So when you're in a tranquil state, you develop wisdom. Out of rajas, greed arises. So I know this in yourself. And from tamas comes carelessness, errors in thinking, ignorance. Okay, we will fluctuate between these phases. I always tell people, no, don't make any decisions When you're very Rajasic. How do you know you're very Rajasic? Should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? Will this be right? Will this be wrong? Wait till the mind is quiet in Sattva. Make a decision. Don't make a decision when you're feeling lazy and lethargic. Again, you will make, no, I won't. I won't do this because I really don't want to go through the trouble. I don't really need this in my life, so I'm not going to go here. I might as well stay home and just relax. That's out of laziness. No, I'm going to go there because I know this is going to change my mood. You see, you know what to do if you understand yourself well and you don't lie to yourself. You know, I'd recognize it. It's really good when you start to recognize it. You don't worry about these things anymore. You say, what to do? 18. Those whose minds are normally sattvic are uplifted. You see people, they're uplifting. Those in rajas stay where they are, but those in tamas lose ground. 19. Whoever sees that all actions are done by the forces of nature, which are the gunas, and knows the one who is beyond the gunas, surely that person is a seer and rises to my state. So what is he saying? Whoever sees all actions are due to the forces of nature. This is nature. I'm living in nature. So it's normal that my mind is going to fluctuate in nature. So if you understand that, and no, I am not this mind. It's just going crazy. Surely that person becomes a seer. That person's able to see the mind think. So for example, when somebody comes, and this again I learned from my master, and they go, I'm really depressed. So I go, oh, Nalini, do you think I'm going to end up in a madhouse? Many people have told me this when they first come to see me. No, why don't you think so? The fact that you know that you are depressed. And I used to say, who is the I that is watching the depression? If you're depressed, how can you watch your depression? So who is the one that's watching the depression? And they look back and they say, me. So who are you if you can watch that depression? And come to me and make a decision that you don't want to be depressed anymore. The fact that you can see the angel and the demon, who are you that's watching the angel and demon? Oh, then I go to them. Now that you know you're the higher self or spirit, and you're the witness, and you can watch, which road do you want to take? Which road do you want to take? If you take this route, it will bring you peace and joy. It may be hard in the beginning because you have to practice and let a lot of things go, but it'll bring you peace and joy. If you take this road and continue on this path like you are now, depressed, why? Because you're depressed because I want this and I can't have it. Oh, I don't have enough time with my partner. Oh, this is not right. And you're miserable. You can carry on. You'll end up in a mess. Or you stay here and think, I can't change anybody, but I can change how I react to things. Don't need to change anybody. Change how you react to things. When you develop peace in yourself, you are able to make the perfect decision whether to stay or whether to go. But if you have no peace, you will not know. You got it? So you're not. You can watch yourself think. It's so exciting. When I found out, I said, why wasn't I taught this in school? Why wasn't I taught this when I was young? That you can watch yourself think. If you can watch it, you can change it. Because as soon as I learned that, I watched my mind and I saw myself. I thought I was a good person. And all that I could see every time I closed was negative thoughts about people, judgments, etc. And I go, oh my God, this is my mind. I am very sick. I got scared. I got really scared of who I was. And I go, I can change it, but I can change it. I can change it. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to bless everybody. I'm going to walk down Main Street tomorrow. I was working every day, walking to work. And I'm going to see the good in everyone, like the mantra says. May we see the good in everyone. May we see the good in everything. May all be free from suffering. So all down the road. Do this every day for 30 days. You've already changed your mindset. You've already changed it. It's not difficult. You just have to be determined. How much do you want your peace? How much do you want to get away from the crazy mind? Okay? It's a decision. It's literally a decision. Now, many people take a long time to come to this decision because they really don't want to let go of their victimhood. Okay? And sometimes it's just karmic. I see people try, but they just can't get there. It's like, so I think it's give it time, give it time, give it time. So this is why patience is needed on this path. Be patient. Don't be afraid to be patient. You don't make it this lifetime. Next lifetime. No, Victoria, you probably needed to come back again. She goes, no way. Even that is an attachment. And so it's interesting, right? We're constantly caught. You see, otherwise if we don't have all these things, we'll be dead. We still have work to do. And the work is fun. If you understand all these things, it's no longer drudgery. Okay, I know this is the field, this is my body, this is the Gunas, this is me, this is my mind, and the divine lives in me. So long as I follow that one, I'll be safe. And that's it. And that one doesn't hurt, that one doesn't cause pain, that one doesn't scream and shout, although sometimes might have to, just to teach somebody a lesson, and that's okay because you're wanting the best for that person. But you will do it without any guilt because you know, no, that was the best way to treat that person. No guilt. Because you do it out of love. That's the secret. So, whoever knows that will be free. 20. Because the Gunas give rise to the physical body, those still embodied ones who transcend the Gunas also leave behind the cycle of birth, pain, decay, death, and attain immortality. So here he's saying, once you understand and you transcend the Gunas, remember, you know that the mind goes crazy, but you watch it and you see that blue sky above the clouds and you just let those clouds go and you stay in the blue sky, right? Such a person, we have a name for them in Sanskrit. They are called Jivan Muktas. Can you say the word? Jivan Muktas. That means they are free while they're living on earth. People may not see them as free, you may not recognize them, but there are many Jivan Muktas walking around on earth that are free. They know they're not this body, this mind, but maybe people don't recognize it, because my master says it takes a Jivan Mukta to recognize one. So, 21. Lord, what are the signs of those who have passed beyond the three forces of nature? This is Arjuna asking the question, what is the sign? He asked the question in chapter 2 as well, the same question. What are these signs? How do we know when we've transcended nature? How do they conduct themselves? And how did they get beyond the grip of nature? How do we get out of this game? Nature is so powerful. The Blessed Lord replied, when nature's qualities are present, such people neither become attached to, such people neither become attached to, nor do they reject the light, activity, or delusion born of the Gunas. And when these qualities are absent, they are not missed. I'm going to read these three and then explain it. Because they perceive that the Gunas are the sole doer, they stay centered and remain unmoved by the winds of nature. Whoever maintains his equanimity, that means balance, in the midst of pleasure and pain, friends and adversaries, praise and blame, and whoever identifies with the true self, thus perceiving the same essence in a clod of dirt, a stone, or a nugget of gold, and whoever lets go of every selfish pursuit, it may be said that such people as these have gone beyond the forces of nature. Now this is how you know. When you understand pleasure and pain are part of this life, and you're not attached to the pleasure, and also when you have the pain, You don't reject it, you just accept, right? And here in Sri Patanjali, Book 2, Sutra 1, he says, how do you heal yourself from suffering? Accepting pain for purification. And then he goes on to say, Swadhyaya. Then you study spiritual books to animate yourself, because while you're accepting pain, it's painful. So you need to keep yourself constant reminder that I am not this body, I'm not this mind. And you need to read or study spiritual books, otherwise you lose ground. And the final thing is surrender to God, to the divine. In other words, don't try to control everything. You can't control everything. I have to change you, or I have to change the situation, I have to change my life, I have to change. No, this is when you know, okay, it is as it
is. Yeah.
Sometimes we can't. I did 1,000 million prayers. Could I save my husband's life? No. When people come to me and I see somebody is dying and they say to me, and this has been so hard for me to tell them, so many people, it's time to let go now. Oh, but the miracle may happen, the miracle may happen. I said, yes, you always hope for the miracle, but you also have to be prepared. And forget about you being prepared for you. Be prepared for the person who you love. Help them get through the last days of their life, not with this fear, but with light and love, and surrounded by mantras and joy. For them, do it. So when you understand all this, your life becomes very complete. There's closure everywhere. There's no more suffering in that. Yes, there's the personal suffering, but you know, like I said earlier on, it's a personal suffering. But at least that person is free. So, yeah, and then and it says here, you see a clod of dirt and gold as the same. Now, most people are so fascinated by money, right? Here you go, well, okay, money is great, it's great, so you don't deny it. If you want whatever, good cars, etc., and you have it, why not? And people tell me, oh, don't you have this and this and why not? Just say thank you. But also be prepared, there's one day you might lose it. And when you lose it, say, why not? Thank you. Remember the story, always, you know it? Good luck, bad luck, who knows? So he's saying, don't get so attached or reject it. So if God gives you every single gift in your life, say thank you. If it takes everything away, say thank you. If you're unsure of this, read the Bible, the story of Job. It's very beautiful. It taught me a lot of lessons. The story of Job, okay? It's really incredible story because it's really good luck, bad luck, who knows? You will always be tested in life. And then when you know it, this is just nature. This is nature. You stand back. You don't deny anything. So when we talk about ignorance in Sri Patanjali, he tells us what is ignorance, right? It's not knowing the truth. And this leads to egoism, aversion, I don't want, or attachment, I have to have. This leads to, and clinging to bodily life. These are the kleshas, we call them, that keep us coming back again and again. So when you understand the kleshas, and you read this, you just have to get the knowledge and then work on yourself. That's it. Once you got it, work on yourself. Don't work on other people. Like I said, you're not here to change anyone. Change yourself first. 26. And whoever serves me with steady devotion, that person also passes over the gunas and is well prepared to experience the absolute oneness that is called God or Brahman. So when you understand, another way to do it is through love. Everything is God's creature. We treat everything with respect. Treat your things, your home, everything is divine. When you live in such a way, then nothing can affect you because you live in that way. This is the easy path. It's called Bhakti Yoga, living in love. The Lord of love, living in that love is an easy way. It's an easy way, the easiest way of all. And he's saying, when you can live like that, you will experience that connection with God. What can I do? And when people are kind of really rude to me or say horrible things, and I used to get asked, do you mind? I go, what can I do? That's the way they think. I used to be called a hypocrite a lot, etc. and I'm this, and how can you be a yogi if you put makeup and you do this? I go, fine, what can I do? That's the way they think about me. Their prerogative, isn't it? It doesn't affect me. I know who I am. Do you see? Know that you are spirit and don't let people affect you. You have to live by your truth the way you are. This is my personality. This is the personality God gave me. I wasn't born to be a monk. I wasn't. That wasn't my personality. I love music. I love dance. I love people. I love joy. This is my personality. I love art. I love quiet time. I want a pure, easy, simple life. Content and quiet. You have to know yourself, you see? And I'm so glad I had a father who guided me that way. And maybe this is why I love to teach this, because my father was so kind. He loved everyone. He loved everyone. He really was a Jivan Mukta. He loved everyone. And then 27 to finish. For I am the home of absolute oneness, Brahman, who is immortal and unalterable. I am the eternal Dharma, truth, and infinite bliss. And I'd just like to read one more thing from the Mundaka Upanishad. And you know, we have that in the New Testament as well. I always say this one, but it's so true. Seek me first, seek God and all its righteousness first, and everything else will be added unto you. Rather than seeking everything else first and becoming miserable. Find that peace within. As my master said, make peace your God, make love your God. I am everywhere. The divine is everywhere. Very hard for the human mind to understand this. That's why I love this master. Truth is one, parts are many. Doesn't matter which tradition, no tradition. Don't change your religion if it teaches you to love all. Change it if it teaches you to be prejudiced and to bring hate. Do you get it? That's when you change things. So here it says, finally, for all of us, the wise have attained this unitive state and see only the resplendent Lord of love. Desiring nothing more in this physical world, they have become one with the Lord of love. Those who dwell on and long for sense pleasure are born in a world of separateness, but let them realize they are the self, and all separateness will fall away. Not through discourse, not through intellect, not even through study of scriptures can the self be realized. The self reveals himself to the one who longs for the self. Those who long for the self with a capital S, with all their heart, are chosen by the self as its own. Not by the weak, not by the unearnest, not by those who practice wrong disciplines can the self be realized. The self reveals himself as the Lord of love who practices right discipline. What the sages sought, they have found at last. No more questions have they to ask of life. With the self-will extinguished, they are at peace, seeing the Lord of love in all around, serving the Lord of love in all around. They are united forever in love. So basically saying that if you realize me in love, your life will be full of love. And really, this non-attachment or renouncing all your attachments, you don't have to force it. Because you can't. You can't one day from the next be totally free. Well, some people can. I once had a patient like that. Oh my God, one session and boom. Not once, I've had 3 people like that. One session, an entire life change. They got it. They just got it. They just got it. Everything in their life changed in 24 hours, including themselves. They started meditating. A person who never meditated, very next day, half an hour, next day, 1 hour. His wife, who was the yogi, told me he's doing much more than I did. He just got in one session. I've been coming to you for 10 years. I don't know. Sometimes people just get it, right? And this is what's saying. So once you know, and he came to me desperate because he was so unhappy and in pain. And the real reason he was in pain is he didn't understand. He had lost his father, and he wasn't there for his father. And that pain was so bad because he was so close to his father, so close, that he got angry with the world. So he was so desperate to get out of that anger. So he put the anger towards his wife and his kids and everything else. But he was so angry. And when I told him there was a way out of this pain, he just immediately got it. And realized, and he apologized to his wife immediately, apologized to his kids immediately, and they are learning from him now. It's quite interesting to watch life. But it's so interesting.